Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. We'll chant Om once together. Synchronize the chanting of Om with your exhalation. Breathe in. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Gently open your eyes. We'll chant from verses 1 to 5 of chapter 3. Arjuna Uvacha
Arjuna Uvacha
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste
Jayasi Chet Karmanaste
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Mata Buddhir Janardana
Tat Kim Karmani Ghore Mam
Tat Kim Karmani Ghore Mam
Niyojayasi Keshava
Niyojayasi Keshava
Vyamishreneva Vakyena
Vyamishreneva Vakyena
Buddhim Mohayasiva me
Buddhim Mohayasiva me
Tadekam Vada Nishchitya
Tadekam Vada Nishchitya
Yena Shreyohamapnuyam
Yena Shreyohamapnuyam
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Shri Bhagavanuvacha
Lokesmin dvividha nishtha
Lokesmin dvividha nishtha
Pura prokta maya nagha
Pura prokta maya nagha
Jnana yogena sankhyanam
Jnana yogena sankhyanam
Karma yogena yoginam
Karma yogena yoginam
Na karmanam
Na karmanam anarambhat
Naishkarmyam purushošnute
Naishkarmyam purushošnute
Nacha sanyasanadeva
Nacha sanyasanadeva
Siddhim samadhigacchati
Siddhim samadhigacchati
Nahi kaschit kshanamapi
Nahi kaschit kshanamapi
Jatu tishtatya karmakrit
Jatu tishtatya karmakrit
Karyate hyavashah karma
Karyate hyavashah karma
Sarva prakriti jair gunaihi
Sarvah prakriti jair gunaihi
Hari Om, and a very good day to all of you. So today we are starting the third chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, entitled Karma Yoga, the yoga of action. It's a very powerful chapter. Actually, if you master the principles given in this chapter, you will become a great achiever in your life. Not only an achiever in terms of worldly success, but you will also be an achiever in terms of spiritual success, spiritual growth. In the yogic approach, we don't consider a person successful if he or she is successful only in the world. That is only half success. The real success is in combining the external worldly success with the inner spiritual growth. Just as, supposing you are learning something, let us say you're learning a particular subject. It is not about merely scoring marks in the final examination. That is also one aspect of your mastery. That is mastery over that subject. But that is only the external aspect. Supposing let us say you're learning medicine. Now, one is to score good marks in the examination outside, but the other is internally becoming a good doctor. So both these have to go hand in hand. The aim of the yogic approach is to combine the worldly success and the spiritual success. And that is what Karma Yoga is all about. Generally, when we start a new chapter, there is a lot of excitement which the mind feels. Now, excitement, when it goes out of your control, is not conducive to gain the deeper messages. The very excitement which the mind feels actually puts the mind on a restless mode. It prevents you from gaining this wisdom. So that is why in the yogic approach, what we do is, before getting into the actual chapter, we always have an overview, a kind of an introduction, because the title itself is very powerful for every chapter. Karma Yoga. As far as this chapter is concerned, Karma Yoga. So when we give some time to the mind, it will settle down. The excitement will go away. And after that, when we go to the verses, it will be maximum beneficial. It is not only when you start something new, whenever you end something also there will be a lot of excitement. That is why when we completed the second chapter, what did we do? We went back and chanted the very first verse of the second chapter. That is an integral a part of this yogic approach, of this higher sadhana, just to remove that excitement that I have finished something. Because the moment you feel I have finished learning something, then you will no longer grow. So if you really want to become a yogi, if you want to grow spiritually, you need to get out of these two excitements. One is the excitement of completing a task, and the other is the excitement of starting something. What do I mean by excitement? Excitement means your emotions go out of your control. No doubt you should be very inspired to start something, and whenever a task is completed, it should give you that satisfaction. Yes, I have done this properly. The satisfaction of completing an action and the inspiration to start an action is different from getting excited about the whole thing. Actually, in one of the verses, when he gives you the blueprint of perfect action in chapter 3, Krishna will be talking about this. He says, Vigata Jwaraha. Jwaraha means fever. Don't have the fever of doing anything. Let not the excitements with respect to your action come and disturb your mind. So, before we get into the actual verses, I'll first give you an introduction as to what this chapter is all about. What is the relevance of this chapter? The context is very important. See, when we say Karma Yoga, we have translated it as yoga of action. But the word karma means so many things. As we get deeper into the chapters, all the facets of this principle of karma will be revealed to you. But in common parlance, karma is understood by everybody as action, which is not wrong, because action is also one aspect of this powerful principle of karma. So when we talk of action, this question is there in many people's mind. Why should we study about Karma Yoga? Why should we study about action? Action means why not we just get into action straight away? What is the necessity of going so deep, of learning, of studying? Instead, if we just get directly into action, then we'll be practicing whatever principles he is going to give. This is a common question which is asked. Action means you're supposed to act, not sit and analyze what is action. Now, that is where you need to look at it a little more deeply. This chapter is actually not about action. Karma means action. The other dimensions of karma I will give you later, but right now, karma means action. Now this chapter is not about karma. It's not about action. It is about karma yoga. Perfection in action. If this entire chapter is talking merely about action, then that question stands. Why do we need to study? Instead, just go and act. But that is not the theme of this chapter. The theme of this chapter is how do you achieve perfection in action? How do you achieve the inner state of perfection through action? Everyone acts. Actually, you have no choice. If you really think about it, you cannot stay idle even for a moment. Krishna will be giving that principle in one verse, where he says, the moment you're born, you have to act. Even if you take the very process of breathing, that is also an involuntary action only which is going on. The moment you stop activity, it means you have stopped life. Life itself is defined by activity only. So, since everyone has to act, now there is nothing to learn when it comes to mere activity. The fact that you are born and the fact that you are living your life means you will be in the course of action. Where does learning come into the picture? When we talk of what kind of actions should you perform? Number one, the type of activity. Number two, the quality of actions. How to increase the power in your actions. How to act in a perfect way. When we bring all these questions, then the learning has its relevance. So many people don't gain access to this wisdom because of this block which they have. It's commonly said, see, what is Krishna saying? Krishna is saying, do your duties. So I will just go and do my duties. Why do I need to study the philosophy? Why do I need to learn these principles? It is not so simple as that. See, when we talk of the human mind, it is extremely complicated. There was a man long back, he came and asked me this question. He said, so what is the very necessity to gain the spiritual wisdom? Ultimately, we just have to be good people. We have to do good to others. So let me just go about doing good to others. Now, why do I need to gain this wisdom? I asked him a simple question. Okay, how do you know what is good for others? First of all, do you know what is good for yourself? If you claim, yes, I know that, now my question is, how do you know what is good for others? Supposing a person comes to you, a youngster comes to you and asks you, now should I become a doctor, or should I become an engineer, or should I become a lawyer, or should I become a painter? Now, how do you know what is good for him? You may say something, and supposing that person follows it, and that is not his nature, then with the idea of doing good to the other person, actually you may harm the other person's life. So it is easy to say that let me just get into action, let me do good to others, let me do this, let me do that. But practically, to maintain the clarity, see, you should have the clarity of thinking what is right, what is wrong, what is beneficial, what is harmful. When that clarity is missing, any amount of effort will not give the desired results. So act you must. There is no choice there. Everybody has to act. But you have a choice when it comes to choosing the type of activity, number one. And you also have a choice in choosing the quality of your activities. Why? See, this is the main principle. As a human being, you have the capacity to choose. See, if you take the entire nature, the whole of nature actually is into activity. Activity means the karma. When we translate it as action, we can understand it more deeply. It means expression. How do you express yourself? So the entire nature is expressing itself choicelessly. It is a human being alone who has the choice. How do I express myself? See, for example, if you take a rose, now the rose actually has no choice. When it blooms, it has to bloom only as a rose. It can never bloom like a jasmine. It is a pre-programmed expression, pre-programmed set of activities. A woodpecker will keep on pecking. It is a pre-programmed activity. It has no choice. A tiger has no choice. Should I be a carnivore or should I be a herbivore? Whatever nature has designed for it, it just expresses that. But when it comes to a human being, at every point in life, you have a choice. You don't have a choice with respect to whether I should act or not, because actually, even when you avoid activity, one particular activity, it is because you will be taking up some other activity. But when it comes to choosing what activity you need to do, there the choice is there for a human being. A human being can be a vegetarian, a human being can be a non-vegetarian. A tiger does not have a choice. No other creature has the choice. A rose has to be a rose. A jasmine has to be a jasmine. Whereas when it comes to a human being, you can find out what your nature is and manifest, express your nature in a natural way, or you can copy someone else and become artificial. You may choose to be original and authentic, or you may choose to lose your authenticity by being someone else apart from what you are. All these choices are there only for a human being. So since you have the choice, this chapter, Karma Yoga, becomes very relevant, because the very theme of Karma Yoga, see, there is this entire chapter is in helping you to choose the best possible actions, the best type of activity. How do you express yourself in a perfect way, the best possible way? And how do you go on increasing the quality in your actions? Many principles actually govern the principle of Karma Yoga. So all these principles are given in this chapter. So when you learn them one by one and start implementing them in your life, you will find that the quality of your life will start improving. It will start changing for the better. Because when your actions increase in terms of quality, then your life has to get transformed. So, at the outset, you need to understand the difference between karma and karma yoga. Now, just as the word karma has many facets, similarly, the word yoga is a very deep word. I would say it's a complete principle by itself. So we are not going to get into the full depth of the word yoga. Then we will be going on and on. But in this context, a few principles I'll give you. See, this introduction will be extremely useful for you when we go to the individual verses. This will be building the base or the foundation. When you understand certain basics, and then when we go into the individual verses, it will be so easy for you to absorb the deeper messages. Now, the different, I would say a few aspects of Karma Yoga I will mention here. So just absorb these points and you can start practicing them right from today onwards. See, one thing is there, when it comes to Karma Yoga, one of the first principles is not to postpone. Whenever you learn something good, the implementation should start immediately. Perfection in practicing the principle may take time. I'm not saying you should act in a perfect way from this moment, but the effort to practice, especially when something is very powerful, when something is higher, should start immediately. That is what is a good sadhak. So what are some of the aspects of Karma Yoga? See, when we talk of yoga, now in chapter 2, we saw two aspects of yoga which he gave. I'm just brushing it up because since we went verse by verse in so much of depth, you may not remember. The first aspect of yoga, he said, was yoga karmasu kaushalam. Kaushalam means skill, dexterity in action. So that is the first aspect of Karma Yoga. How skillful are you? How dynamic are you? How perfect are you in terms of activity? If you do your activities very casually, if your activities don't lack that power, don't have that power, if your activities are not dynamic, then that is not Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means increasing the dynamism in your activity. When you perform an action in the spirit of Karma Yoga, the first thing that will happen is kaushalam. Kaushalam means the skill, the power of that activity will start increasing. You will start becoming more productive in your work. If you want to understand what is the meaning of kaushalam, you should differentiate between being busy and being productive. If you are merely engaged in karma, that is action, you will be busy throughout the day. You You will be busy throughout your life. But you will not achieve much. If you practice karma yoga, you will not be merely busy, but you will be productive. Every action of yours will become very, very powerful. It will be directed towards a chosen goal, a chosen ideal, and every action will contribute towards you achieving your goals in life. That is the first difference between karma and karma yoga in terms of action. Now, kaushalam also means good. It not only means dexterity in action, it also means choosing those kind of activities which are beneficial to you. See, when you are engaged in mere karma, that karma or action can be either beneficial to you or that can be harmful to you also. I told you, you have a choice as a human being. You have a choice to evolve or you have a choice to devolve also. So kaushalam has this other aspect, which is choosing those type of activities which are beneficial to you, dharmic, not only morally good, but that which is basically beneficial for you. For example, if you choose, let us say, a particular activity, let us say you choose to become an engineer, when actually your swadharma or your nature is to become an artist, become a singer, just for argument's sake. Then, even though per se the field of engineering is wonderful, that will not suit you, that will not be beneficial for you. Actually, it will harm you in the long run. So when you merely act, that is karma, but when you choose those type of activities which are beneficial to you, kaushalam, and then when you act, that is karma yoga. This is the second aspect. So the first aspect of karma yoga is dynamism, productivity. How productive are you in your life? Just because you are into action, don't say I am practicing karma yoga. If you are merely in action, you can say I am a karmi. Karmi means one who is acting. But a karma yogi is one who is productive. It is not the quantity of time which determines the results. It is how productive you are. Many people say, I work from morning till evening, yet I am not getting any results. Just because you worked from morning to evening, just because you worked for a long period of time, it doesn't mean you will get the desired results. How productive are you? That is the question. Actually, when you learn the principles of karma yoga, what will happen is your productivity will start increasing. So whatever work you were able to finish, let us say in 4 hours earlier, you will be able to finish it in a much shorter period, within 1 hour probably. There are many people who have reported this to me. They have said that once we have started doing the sadhana, every week we are attending the Sunday discourses, then we are doing the daily sadhana of Yoga Sankirtan. We are practicing all these principles. We have found that we are able to complete our tasks in a proper way within a lesser period of time. Even students have, what we were able to finish, the portions where we were able to finish in 10 hours, we are able to finish in less than 50% of the time. It means the productivity has increased. Your capacity to do karma yoga has increased. And the beneficial aspect, the actions which you choose for yourself, should be very, very beneficial to you in the long run. If you are mechanically acting, if you are just merely into action, it means you are you're a karmi. But if you are practicing these principles of karma yoga, you will start using this power of choice, and you will start picking up those activities which are very beneficial to you, which are truly meaningful to you. See, if you were to analyze all your activities from morning till evening, how many activities have you done which add value to your life? You will find the percentage will be very less. And it is not for one day. Your entire life goes away like that. Many a times you don't live a life which you want to live. Somebody else's idea is what you execute, without even questioning what is my nature, what is it that I want to do in life, what field of activity should I take up, what is my nature. These kind of questions are not asked at all, because there is no time. And what are you so occupied with? Just merely doing mechanical actions. You're just being busy in life. So the third chapter of Karma Yoga is about being productive, number one. And number two, it is about picking up those activities which are beneficial to you in the long run. Whenever you get into any action, today you don't have the clarity to understand the consequence of that action in the long run. Whether it is in choosing of your field of activity, whether it is in choosing your partner, whether it is in choosing anything in life, what are the consequences? You don't have that clarity. Once you master the principles given in this chapter, you will get that clarity. You will no longer pick up those activities which will cause harm to you. See, when we say activities, it is not merely bodily, physical activities, external activities. Activities means it starts with your speech. That is called vachika karma. Karmas of different types. When we go to the individual verses, you will be learning all this. Vachika karma means whatever actions you perform with your mouth, that is while speaking. Speaking itself is an action. Then when you act in the world, feeling is manasika karma, mental action. And thinking is intellectual action. So what kind of thoughts are you generating? Harmful thoughts or beneficial thoughts? What kind of emotions are you generating? Harmful emotions or beneficial emotions? So at every level, this principle of Karma Yoga is applicable. That is why Krishna is starting his instructions with this chapter. See, in the second chapter, he gave the highest philosophy, and he talked about the Sthita Prajna, because Arjuna asked Krishna that question as to who is Sthita Prajna, a perfect person. Now there is a reason why that was elaborately given by Krishna, because before you embark on the spiritual sadhana, you should know what is the end result. You should know what is it that we are moving towards. What is your goal, your ultimate purpose in life. That should be very clear. Now once that is clear, when you actually get into sadhana, now he says Karma Yoga is the starting point. And when we say starting point, Karma Yoga is also the ending point. Because when you go to the end of the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, all my moha has gone. Now I know exactly what to do. I will get into action. So this is the second aspect of Karma Yoga. Taking up those activities which are beneficial to you. Now, in the second chapter, he also gave another facet of yoga, very interesting. He said, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. Means yoga means balance. Samatvam means balance, calmness, tranquility. So that is the third aspect of Karma Yoga. Whenever you act, is that action causing stress to you, or is it causing tranquility? Is it giving you the effect of peace, or is it making you more stressed? If you merely act, that is karma, that will give you more and more stress. If you do Karma Yoga, action by action, you will become more peaceful. Your inner peace will go on increasing. See, today, if you were to think about it, action is not giving you any peace. Actually, action destroys your peace. That is why you slog it out. You go on acting, and then you get so highly stressed. You want to get out of the stress. So you say, let me go on a holiday. As far as Karma Yoga is concerned, action itself is a holiday only. See, the difference between karma and Karma Yoga is, in karma, when you are acting, you are very stressed, and then you want to take a break, go for a holiday to relax, to become calm. Whereas Karma Yoga, in Karma Yoga, the very action itself relaxes you if you practice these principles. How to act in such a way that your action becomes a source of relaxation for you. Samatvam means balance. Once you learn this powerful principle, then your whole life becomes a holiday for you. It becomes a lot of fun. You may still go on a holiday just for functional purposes, just for a change. But you will not go on a holiday because you want to relieve all your stress, because you're fed up with activity. Today, in the corporate world, there is so much of stress. Whenever any organization approaches me for a corporate seminar, and when I just tell them, so what do you want me to conduct? Do you want me to conduct a stress mastery seminar, or time mastery, or productivity? The first thing which they choose is stress. Productivity, of course, is there, but stress, they say, is very high. It is not only actually in the corporate field. If you take a student's life, it's very highly stressed. If you take the IT industry, high stress is there. If you take the medical field, the doctors are very highly stressed, because 24/7 they have to be on the call. Many doctors have told me this. So all the time our mind is stressed, because right from morning till evening we have to take care of so many patients. Every field of activity, if you take people who are in different fields of activity, they are all highly stressed. And if you were to ask them, why are you stressed? They will say it is because of the activity. It is because of the karma, the actions. I wish I just have some time to not do anything so that I'll be peaceful. Now, the solution is not in stopping activity, because you cannot stop activity, as I told you in the beginning. The solution is Karma Yoga, is in learning these principles of Karma Yoga. So the study, the learning, the practice of all these principles become very necessary, relevant in your life. So the mind is under a delusion that action causes stress. Now once you learn the secrets of Karma Yoga, you will understand that action per se does not cause any stress. You will learn the secret of using your own activities to become more peaceful, more tranquil in your life. As Swami Ramatirtha said, the real spirituality, real Karma Yoga is when you subject your body to the law of dynamics, and when you subject your mind to the law of statics. You are externally very dynamic and active, but internally you're maintaining your tranquility. You're extremely peaceful and calm. That is real Karma Yoga. That is real spirituality. The tendency to escape from action. See, the moment you have a choice of action, now you will try to exercise, the mind tries to exercise the choice in the wrong direction. So the mind wants to escape from activity. As the stress goes on increasing, you want to run away from activity. That is exactly the state of Arjuna. For 13 years he was preparing for the war. And then when the war situation came, when in the battlefield, right before the war was about to begin, now he collapsed. And what did he say in the first chapter? He said, I don't want to act. I want to run away from here. This is what happens to a stressed mind. Whenever your mind is stressed, you want to run away from activity. And when you run away from activity, that effort will make you a nothing. It will not allow you to achieve anything in life. It will not, that is externally, it will not allow you to grow spiritually also. So Karma Yoga is about samatvam, tranquility, balance of mind. Then the fourth aspect of Karma Yoga is cheer, happiness. When you get into activity, how to act in such a way that your inner cheer, your bliss goes on increasing. See, when you are stressed, it is not only your mental calmness which comes down, your happiness factor also comes down. When it is mere karma, you just act, but you are not necessarily a happy person. So Karma Yoga is about bringing back the happiness in your life, because we have defined life in this context as action. So bringing back that happiness, that inner joy, the bliss, the inner bliss as you go about acting in your life. Every day when you wake up in the morning, you should have so much of energy. You should be filled with that cheer and joy and enthusiasm. One more day has been given to you to fulfill your goals, to fulfill your duties, to put in the efforts to become one with the ultimate, to become one with the infinite. Karma Yoga fills you with that spirit of enthusiasm and cheer. Once you master these principles, every second of your life, you will be so cheerful that your cheer will become infectious. Generally, we use the word infection in a negative sense, no? When it comes to a disease, we say infectious disease. But let us start using that word in a positive sense. You should be so cheerful that it starts spreading to others. It all starts with enjoying whatever you do in life. I want you to just pause for a second after the session. Just do the small sadhana. Spend about a few minutes and ask yourself, am I enjoying whatever I am doing in life? 100% am I enjoying? Whether it is work, whether it is family, any kind of activity. That is, wherever you are expressing yourself, wherever you are doing some action, am I enjoying it thoroughly? Is work a drudgery to me? Is action a drudgery to me? Or is it a source of enjoyment to me? Every day when I take up my office work, is it a burden or am I having that enthusiasm? Every day when I interact with my family members, has it become very mechanical? Whether it is my spouse or whether it is my children, or am I having that cheer and enthusiasm as if it is for the first time I'm interacting with them? Just ask yourself. I want you to examine your life, examine yourself and the quality of the life which you are leading today. Unless you do that self-examination, the real spirituality will not start. See, it is easy to cover this chapter and verse number 1, verse number 2. We can just keep on going very fast and we can finish it within a few days. But as far as your life is concerned, there will be no change. You will just get to know a few more things, but you will continue in your life in the same way. We don't do that in the yogic approach. In the yogic approach, we pause and examine what we are doing in life. So ask yourself, how cheerful am I? How much of bliss am I having? Real spirituality is being in that state of bliss. Because Krishna gave that advice, we saw that also. Yogastha kuru karmani means be in that state of yoga always. And then act. How do you achieve that? That is the very principle of karma yoga. So when you merely do karma, you will get into a mechanical attitude in life. You will just go through your life, which is doing a series of activities, and you will only get more stressed. You will lose all your cheer. You will lose all your enthusiasm. Whereas when you get into the spirit of karma yoga, when you learn these principles, action by action, you will go on increasing your energy. You will go on becoming more cheerful, more dynamic, more powerful. And it is only a powerful, strong person who is qualified for the higher sadhana. It is given in the Upanishads. The truth is meant for strong people, not for the weak people. So this is the powerful aspect of Karma Yoga. These are all the various aspects of Karma Yoga. So, as a sadhana, if you can just examine your life, your activities, am I being busy or am I being productive? This is the first question you need to ask yourself. Then, the type of activities am I choosing? Am I choosing activities which are causing me harm in the long run, or am I choosing activities which are beneficial to me? And then the third, am I getting more and more stressed with activity, or am I becoming more calm when I act? This is the self-examination. And then number 4, am I morose, sorrowful, or am I cheerful? Is my cheer increasing day by day? See, actually from a yogi's perspective, it's not merely day by day, moment by moment, because every moment you are performing activities. Even right now, don't listen to it with a very serious face. Don't listen to it like that. See, just because you have to be responsible in life, of course you have to be very responsible, doesn't mean you should become too serious and lose your cheer. See, the very life of Lord Krishna was an expression of Karma Yoga. He took up the great responsibility of masterminding the world war, but he was always smiling, very cheerful. By his very example, that is, by merely existing, living, he was giving an example of what true Karma Yoga is. Of course, we can't restrict Lord Krishna, who was an avatar, to merely Karma Yoga. Is all facets of spirituality spontaneously kept coming out from him. But in this context, I'm saying you should just read the personality of Krishna. You will understand the difference between karma and Karma Yoga. Everybody was fighting in the battle with a serious face. Now, I'm not talking of merely the face, I'm talking of the bhavana, But Krishna alone was there in the battlefield with total calmness, tranquility, in a state of bliss. Very, very productive. If not for Krishna, Pandavas wouldn't have won the war, in spite of being great warriors. Arjuna was the number 1 archer. Bhima was the most powerful person. They had great warriors, yet they would have lost the battle. It is because of Krishna's presence that they won the battle. So when you learn the principles of Karma Yoga, not only will you do good to yourself, but you will also do good to others. You will have a very calming influence over others. You will have a very cheerful, blissful influence over others. Sometimes, some people, they may not say anything, but their very presence will cause a lot of agitations and stress around them. So what is the kind of energy, aura which you are having? What is the kind of energy which you are emitting? It depends on whether you are merely doing karma in life or are you doing Karma Yoga. So this is a great opportunity for you. The real truths of Karma Yoga, they are going to be revealed. The yogic approach. So utilize this opportunity and transform your life permanently. See, in the yogic approach, there is nothing called temporary transformation. That is not called transformation. Transformation means it has to be permanent. So this is the difference between karma and karma yoga when it comes to action. Now, I will also give you a few more points which will be useful to you to understand the deeper import of this chapter. Karma not only means action, karma also means reaction. See, the Sanskrit language, as I've told you, is a multidimensional language. One word can mean several things at the same time. It's a multidimensional language. So, as a sadhak, you should also develop this multidimensional approach to life. Don't narrow down your life to just one aspect. It is an all-inclusive approach which will help you. So, karma not only means action, karma also means reaction. So, one is whatever actions you're performing, the other is your internal reaction. What kind of reactions are going on within you? Whenever you face the various challenges of life or various experiences of life, how do you react? Do you react positively or do you react negatively? The choice is there. As a human being, you have the power to choose. Now, when you merely do karma, that is when you merely react in a mechanical way, then the mind will start choosing negatively. You will start reacting negatively to all your experiences in life. A simple proof is, if you were to ask a person to list down all the problems which he or she is facing in life, immediately anyone will be able to give a long list. I'm going through this, I'm going through that, in my work, my boss is not okay, my colleague is not cooperating, my spouse is irritating me every day, my children are behaving like this, my finance is down because this has happened, that has happened. So all the problems you will be able to list, the negative things which are happening. But if you ask the same person, tell me the positive things which are happening in your life, the person will keep quiet. He or she will start thinking. What does that show? See, life has positives and negatives, but your mind has the habit of reacting negatively to the various experiences in life. You know, there was a lady, she was a teacher, she's retired now. She was a teacher of the first standard, in school. Very interesting because the school invites the parents to meet the teachers. I think in every quarter or something, and the teacher gives a report card to the parent and whatever her assessment is about the child. Now, this particular lady had this habit of reacting negatively to everything. Like when a parent comes, the parent will ask, so how is my son writing? He writes, but not clearly. She will always add a negative tag to her comments about the children, Your girl sings, but not perfectly, not to the tune. Your child is good in sports, but highly restless, something like that. Always adding a negative tag when it comes to her work. Her work is to assist the child and guide the child. Now, how will such a person be able to influence the child in a positive way? Because the children are in the brittle stage, they have to be molded. This is how you react to all the experiences of life. Even when positive experiences come into your life, once you get into this habit of reacting negatively, you will only keep on reacting negatively. This happened with a couple. The husband used to never remember the wife's birthday. He had never ever wished her for her birthday or given her a birthday card. Invariably he used to forget. So the wife always had this complaint. I wouldn't say it's a wrong complaint, it's quite a legitimate thing only which she was asking. He is not even remembering my birthday. That means a lot to her. So what he did was, so they had come to me for advice, and I told him, why don't you take care of these small things, If that means a lot to her, why don't you do it? So he said, okay sir, I will put in effort, I will change. It was a very positive thing. So what happened is, on the next birthday, as soon as, after finishing the bath and all that, and before breakfast, he had gone to the shop and he had selected a very beautiful card, and he had personally sat and written a few things, very nice things about her, and he had put that effort. And with and he had bought some flowers and all that, and he said happy birthday, and he gave her. And her reaction was, she just picked it and she placed it in a rude way on the table. So he was stunned. And he asked her, why are you unhappy? I have wished you on your birthday. To which she said, what is the time now? Time is 8:45 in the morning. My birthday started at 12 midnight. So what prevented you from wishing me for 8 hours 45 minutes? You delayed your wishes. She was very upset by that. So when they came and met me again, I had to explain to her that, see, the mind has gotten into this habit of looking at, of reacting negatively to the situation. So when actually a positive thing came, there also the mind started reacting negatively. She was a very intelligent person, she immediately understood what I was explaining to her. So Karma Yoga is about perfecting your reactions in life, so that whenever you face something positive or negative, you choose to react in a positive way. Even in a negative experience, in the management jargon they say, converting every difficulty into an opportunity. They say that. How is that possible? Only if you practice Karma Yoga. So from the level of action, I had given you a few points. Now from the level of reaction, Karma Yoga means reacting positively, looking for solutions in life, not getting caught up with the problem. See, whenever you face a problem, if you are merely at doing karma, you will go on complaining. When you're practicing the principles of Karma Yoga, now you will look for solutions and you will start implementing the solutions. That is the difference between karma and Karma Yoga. How do you master your reactions? When someone comes and insults you, let us say, immediately your mind starts reacting negatively. You get angry, you get frustrated, you lose your peace of mind. Now, how do you react in a positive way? How do you not allow the insult of another person to affect your peace of mind? That is Karma Yoga. An aspect of Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga has all these aspects. Once you learn these principles, you will become a master of your own mental reactions. Just imagine the power it can give you. Why did I say that this, if you this chapter will make you so powerful? It'll make you a very, very strong and powerful personality. Why? Because you will gain mastery over your own reactions. See, when a person comes and insults you, and if you're weak and if you get affected, then the other person has won. Supposing you don't get affected, you maintain your peace of mind. You say whatever you want, but I choose to be peaceful and calm. If you have that much amount of mastery, then that person becomes weak. You have conquered that situation. So yogi is one who focuses on gaining mastery over his or her reactions to situations. The world is full of challenges, ups and downs. We had the COVID pandemic, and something else will come in some other area. Some challenge or other will keep on coming. Now, how is your mind reacting to all that? Is it reacting negatively or is it reacting in a strong way? When you don't have mastery over your own reactions, you're a weak person. When you gain mastery over your mental reactions, that is when you become truly strong. Strength is not merely going to the gym and building merely your muscles. That is only bodily strength. But I find people lack the emotional strength. That emotional strength comes from the mastery over your own moods, your own reactions. So from the action point of view, your actions become very powerful. From the reactions point of view, your reactions also become very positive and powerful. Then just imagine how your life will become when whatever your actions are, there is speech, your physical actions, your emotions, thoughts, they are all very, very powerful, blissful, productive. And when you face the various experiences of life, all your mental reactions are extremely positive. Such a life will be very, very wonderful. That is what should be your goal, to transform your actions and reactions. We are going to learn that in this chapter. See, verse by verse, so many principles are going to be given. Week after week, one or two principles or a few principles you go on absorbing. That is going to change the very quality of your life by changing the quality of your actions and changing the quality of your reactions. Both these aspects are very important as far as karma is concerned. See, karma has both these aspects, action and reaction. Many people focus only on action, they leave out the reaction. Or many people focus only on reaction, they leave out action. If you leave out either of these aspects, then you will, it is not karma yoga. You will not progress. Now, beyond the actions and reactions, what is karma yoga? What is the ultimate purpose of karma yoga? That also you need to know. The real purpose of action is not merely becoming relatively happy or gaining something from the world. It is in evolving spiritually, expanding your consciousness, evolving spiritually and becoming one with the infinite. You have infinite powers within you. You are actually not finite. You have come down from the infinite. Anything made out of gold has to be gold only. When you take raw gold and then convert it into an ornament, you are, and the ornament thinks it is not gold. It is the height of absurdity. Anything made out of wood has to be wood only. If you take the tree and cut it and all that and then convert it into a table, it is still wood. Similarly, you have come from that divinity, you have come from the infinite. So essentially, you are divine. Today, you are not recognizing that. Just as when you make a table or a chair from wood, and then you are calling it a table, you are calling it a chair, and you have forgotten it is essentially wood. Whether it is a table or a chair, it has all come from the same wood only. Similarly, whether you are a man or whether you are a woman, whether you are an Indian, whether you are an American, whether you are from Australia, from Africa, whether you belong to this religion or whether you belong to that religion, whether you belong to this caste, that caste, all these things are your concepts only. But essentially, what are you? You are divine. Tat Tvam Masi means, Tattvam Asi means that supreme, infinite truth you are. And today you have got disconnected from that infinite. You are so much connected to the finite aspects. Karma Yoga, yoga means uniting. It derived from the Sanskrit word yuj. One of the dimensions of yoga is joining or uniting. Uniting with what? Uniting with the infinite. So karma yoga is using actions to unite with the infinite supreme God, supreme self. How do you act in such a way that you burn up all your negativities, you burn up all your karmas and unite with the infinite? That is karma yoga. Karma means merely acting. There is no union there. You only get more and more enmeshed in action. Karma yoga is using the same action to elevate you, elevate yourself, to get yourself freed from the finite and become one with the limitless infinite. That is karma yoga. A person who masters these principles of karma yoga will start functioning in life in such a way that he converts all his actions into sadhana. See, spirituality is not merely allocating a certain time, and no doubt that is important. You allocate a certain time to do yoga, sankirtan, sadhana. That is to build an inner power. But ultimately, spirituality means it should percolate in every aspect of your life. How are you eating? How are you talking? How are you walking? How are you sleeping? How are you spending your whole life? How are you interacting with people? I know many people who claim to be spiritual, but they interact with others in a rude way. They don't give the respect to others. The way they look at others is with a complex. Either they have a superiority complex or they have an inferiority complex. See, when you don't give respect to others, it is superiority complex. When you don't give respect to yourself, that is inferiority complex. So how do you interact with others? How do you interact with yourself? How do you perform your work in your work environment? So spirituality should pervade in all your aspects of life, entire life. Life is a whole unit. It cannot be divided and compartmentalized. You can't say, I am good in one area, I am not good in another area. It is like saying, in office, I am a very good person. I am a very truthful person. At home, I tell a lot of lies. It means you have the tendency of lying within you. It's not possible. Life is one full unit. So by escaping from activity, you cannot achieve anything. Because you're so stressed. See, that's the only solution which people have come up with. They don't know how to act properly. So yet they have to act because nature forces them to act. Then the stress factor becomes too much. Then they try to escape by running away here and there. But wherever you go, understand you are carrying the same mind. You cannot run away from your mind. When we talk of karma or action, it is not merely the body which acts. It is backed by the mind, and depending on how much you learn to handle your mind, your actions will give that particular effect, whether positive or negative. So you may escape your activity physically, externally, but you cannot escape your own mind. Even if you go and sit in the Himalayan forest, you will have to face your mind. So what these great masters are saying is, that being the case, why do you need to escape from action? You will achieve nothing. Instead, right now, here and now, when you are acting in the world, face your mind. Perfect your mind. Perfect yourself. It happens gradually. You will have to learn these principles, absorb them, and then practice them in every aspect of your life. When you're all alone by yourself, what are you? How do you think? How do you feel? How do you act? Sometimes, people put on a show. In front of others, they put on an act as if they are perfect. But when they are all alone by themselves, no rules, nothing. That is not true transformation. So this chapter 3, Karma Yoga, is about perfecting yourself when you are going through the various experiences of life, whenever you are acting and whenever you are reacting. Okay, so we'll stop with that today. It's a very powerful introduction which has been given to you. Many wonderful principles, points have been given. Reflect on these points. The more you absorb these points, it's going to make it very easy for you when you go to the verses. So we'll continue this journey, which of chapter 3. I'm saying the journey, I was about to say which we have begun, but then I don't want your mind to get conditioned by the starting and ending of a chapter and all that. It's with great difficulty in using the yogic approach, we are breaking those limitations. Life is one long flow. There is no beginning, no end, actually. So when we come to the third chapter, when we get into the verses, you will find the same principles which were given in the second chapter will be given here also, but in different angles, in different ways. Applications will be different. When you go to the next chapter, again it's the same principle. See, the basics of life are not going to change. The applications will keep changing. Okay? So now we'll do the Vidhyasana meditation. Sit in a relaxed way. Gently close your eyes. Do deep breathing. With every breath, I am becoming more and more relaxed. Feel the divine vibrations. With every breath, I am going deeper and deeper into myself. beyond this physical body, beyond these various emotions, beyond these various thoughts, lies the essential self, the supreme reality. I am not this body, I am not this mind, I am not this intellect, I am that infinite supreme self. I bow down to the Guru Shakti and invoke the higher blessings. To gain the necessary strength and clarity to master the principles of Karma Yoga. I am Swayam Prakashit, self-illuminating. Offer your gratitude to God Supreme. Offer your gratitude to your Guru and all the holy masters. Slowly come back. Wriggle your fingers, your toes, rub your palms together to create a warmth. Cup your eyes with your palms. Gently rub your eyes, cheeks, forehead, top of the head, back of the head and neck. Slowly open your eyes. Welcome back. So it was a very deep session, and we always have to invoke the higher blessings. We have to bow down to the Guru Shakti in order to master these principles. See, to master the principles of Karma Yoga is not so simple. The more we learn, the more we practice, we'll find that the more deep these principles are. And that is why in the yogic approach, we always invoke the Guru Shakti, we bow down and we invoke the higher blessings, which alone will help us to gain complete mastery over ourselves using these principles. It is wonderful that we are having the Karma Yoga, that is, we have started this chapter immediately after the Guru Purnima session. So you will naturally be in a learning mode. Your learning mode will be fully active. The more you want to learn, the more will be given. When you don't want to learn, even if everything is given, you will not absorb anything. This is the law of life. Okay? So we'll continue in the next session. Thank you very much. Hari Om.